Hey there YouTube lovers, my name is BB8 and today I am going to review Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. When Sonic Racing CrossWorlds was first revealed at the Game Awards in 2024, the title is what got my attention, because the idea of a Sonic racer built around dimensions sounded like it had the potential to be cool, but because Team Sonic Racing did not click with me, my expectations were pretty low. But that started to change after I played the demo of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and something about the demo made me think, wait, could Sonic Racing CrossWorlds actually be good? Well, the reason I did not purchase Sonic Racing CrossWorlds at launch was mainly because I decided to wait until Sonic Racing CrossWorlds was available for the Nintendo Switch 2 in order to play it. But recently, after browsing Amazon to look at Black Friday deals, I saw that Sonic Racing CrossWorlds was £36. And I thought, you know what? If Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is going ahead with the upgradable path instead of a game keycard path, I thought, why not pick up the Nintendo Switch 1 version of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds? I mean, after all, it's the physical version on Switch 2 is not coming till 2026, so why not pick up the physical version on Nintendo Switch 1 and give it a play for a BB8's review? And after playing the full game, including completing all 7 main cups to unlock the full crossworld mechanic, I can definitely say that this is the most fun I've had with a Sonic racing game, not just this decade, but in general. This has probably surpassed Sonic Racing Transformed. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? For the gameplay, normally I wouldn't turn to Mario Kart alternatives, but even though Sonic Racing CrossWorlds does take a bit of time to get used to, especially as someone who has been loyal to Mario Kart for 15 years, but I did get used to Sonic Racing CrossWorlds controls a lot faster than I expected to. And what helped even more is that lately I have actually been playing some other non-Mario Kart racing games, such as Fortnite's Rocket Racing and Disney's Speedstorm. But CrossWorlds doesn't feel anything like them two, and instead feels like it belongs in the Sonic Racing series. And the biggest addition to Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is the crossworld mechanic. Initially, only 15 tracks used the feature earlier in the game, but after finishing all 7 cups, every track in the game becomes a crossworld track, with each lap teleporting you to a different track, which does make the different races unpredictable and filled with a variety of possibilities. It does become a key part in the identity of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, so much that I would love to see Nintendo borrow this idea in a future Mario Kart game, but the only difference is it would use pipes instead of rings. The track selection itself is actually pretty strong as well, with a whole bunch of original tracks and some tracks inspired by other Sonic games, with my favourites including Pumpkin Mansion, Radical Highway, Kronos Island from Sonic Frontiers, and White Space from Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. And for the crossworld tracks, my personal standouts were Dinosaur Jungle and Roulette Road. Of course, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is a chaotic racing game, especially if you play it in Supersonic Speed mode, which by the way is wild, and can easily compare to how trick-heavy Mario Kart World is. And even though the items do take a bit of time to get used to, since I'm more used to the items in Mario Kart, but the unpredictability is what makes Sonic Racing CrossWorlds more fun. And the game does reward you with Donpa tickets, which does allow you to unlock new parts to build vehicles with, as well as some other bonuses. And overall, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds in terms of the gameplay department does live up to the CrossWorld concept. For the graphics and the performance, I played the Switch 1 version on a Switch 2. And surprisingly, the game did run better than I initially expected it to. Yes, the Switch 1 does run at 30 frames per second, and the loading times do feel noticeable, but the Switch 1 version runs surprisingly well. And I've not tried the native Nintendo Switch 2 version of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds yet, but from what I've seen in the comparison videos, it does look gorgeous in comparison to the versions released on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And visually, CrossWorlds does stand out during the transitioning sequences when you warp between the different tracks, and it works for me every time. And the presentation of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds does hold up very well, even on Nintendo Switch 1, despite being inferior to every other version of CrossWorlds. And while more powerful hardware does improve on the Switch 1 version, the Switch 1 version still looks solid throughout. For the characters, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds does come with an impressive sized roster. Not Mario Kart sized, but still has a pretty strong roster for a Sonic racing game. You get the Sonic characters you usually would expect from a Sonic racing game, like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, etc., with some characters you wouldn't expect, such as Zavok and Zaz from Sonic Lost World, as well as a few Sonic characters I'm not typically familiar with, such as Tangle the Lemur and Whisper the Wolf, who are of course arriving in February. But where the roster really stands out in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is its crossover characters, with 3 characters like Hatsune Miku, Joker from Persona 5, Ikeban Kasuga from Like a Dragon, and this one's not been added yet, but Ai from Super Monkey Ball, who is the free crossover character I'm looking forward to the most, which does expand broad with the Sega side of the Sonic Racing CrossWorlds roster. And beyond Sega, they have a whole bunch of DLC in store, which brings Steve, Alex, and Creeper from Minecraft, Pac-Man and the Ghosts in the Pac-Man pack, and a full Mega Man pack, which includes Mega Man and Proto Man. And the one turn I didn't think the DLC would take is introducing a whole bunch of Nickelodeon characters, such as SpongeBob SquarePants, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Avatar The Last Airbender, which are a whole bunch of choices I wasn't expecting, but I still find it a fun excuse to race as Nickelodeon characters in a racing game that is actually superior to the Nickelodeon Kart Racing series. Joker from Persona 5 ended up being the character I played as the most, and in terms of the roster, I struggled to keep up with characters like Zavok, but it still adds a whole bunch of personality to the roster. Going in, I didn't really have high expectations for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, but Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, like with Super Mario Party Jamboree last year, managed to be one of my biggest surprises of the year. The crossworld mechanic does bring in a creative twist that opens the door to so many possibilities, especially once it extends to every single track in the game, and CrossWorlds is chaotic, stylish, and fun, especially when playing it with others. And one of my favourite moments when playing Sonic Racing CrossWorlds was taking my Nintendo Switch 2 into college and pulling off a full cup against my friend, and I won. And the DLC structure isn't as generous as Mario Kart's, but I would love to see a year 2 roadmap for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds like we've had with Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1. But even with those nitpicks, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds easily has to be the best Sonic Racing game I've played to date. And while it didn't make it into the Certified Gold Club, that's okay, because it more than makes up for 2019's Team Sonic Racing, and manages to be a big leap for Sonic Racing in general. And that is what lands Sonic Racing CrossWorlds with the collector perk, with the Certified Silver accolade. And overall, I give Sonic Racing CrossWorlds a 9 out of 10. 2025 has been an amazing year for racing games, with Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and the one that I'm yet to fully play and review being Kirby Air Riders. Sonic CrossWorlds definitely fits in with this year in racing games. And the one thing that would have made this year even more insane, no pun intended, for racing games, is bringing in a brand new Crash Bandicoot racing game. Then the entire Quattro would be complete with Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, a brand new Crash Bandicoot racing game, and Kirby Air Riders. So guys, what did you think of my review of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds? And I want to hear from you. What did you think of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds? So, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and turn your notification bell on so you don't miss another review video like this one in the future. And I will see you all in a future video. BB8 out.